Welcome, everybody. We are back with the rewatch. We're getting deep into the shit mine now. This is episode 6. We opted not to do a recap of the previous two because I think we eviscerated episodes 4 and 5 to the point where there was nothing left of the battered corpses. So, with that special treat for you, we're on to the next little bit. Pips, Alex, you guys are here. You guys are drinking, but we got a special guest, Lady Balefire, another
Hello.
woman. Yes. How's it going, Lady Balefire? How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Just ready for this shit show again.
So, what's great about this is I think we've been bringing on people from the Wheel of Time fandom, at least the actual fandom that hates this fucking show. Um, and it's been quite representative. We've got old fans, we've got new fans, and I think this is our fourth female guest.
Whoa, I'm special.
Well, no, it's a bit of a surprise, but before we get into it, Pips, are you on Jefferson's Ocean? Are you drinking something different today? I thought you were on a brewery tour, but maybe that didn't pan out. But how are you feeling, bud?
Not feeling good, and I'm drinking something different. I have got a very small batch. I guess you could call it I don't know, artisanal or something like that. It's
Nice.
some sour cherry schnapps that I picked up in the Black Forest in Germany a few years ago, and I am drinking this a little bit on a sort of sad but also a happy note. It was my grandfather's birthday yesterday, and I picked this up with him the last time that I was visiting in Germany with him, which is where he was from. Um, and He died a few years back, and so I have a couple bottles of the stuff, and I try and drink some around his birthday every year. So that's what I got at least to start out with. It is quite
Well,
excellent.
well, that's very touching, Pips. I didn't know horses knew their grandfathers, but no, I kid. So let's all.
Grandsire.
Oh, very good. True, true enough. But let's all have a quick toast to Pips's grandfather, grandsire. Um, that's a very nice thing to do.
Yeah, cheers, dude. That's cool.
Thank you.
Now, Alex, what did you find? Because you were scrambling to kind of make it today, and we're glad that you're here. But like always, you're in a hotel room in some random place. But what did you scrounge up for tonight?
Because I am stuck in a college town who feels that quantity over quality when it comes to beer that tastes like piss water is the way to go. The best that I was able to come up with was some Yingling Golden.
Wow.
Did
Holy
you at least
fuck!
get yourself a college town 30 rack to help yourself through this?
I wish, but no.
Needs a keg.
All right, now Miss Balefire, I know you've watched a lot of these. We've been in contact quite a bit on the Discord and whatnot. But what we usually ask first is what are you drinking, and then the next part is you got to walk us through your connection with the Wheel of Time, the story, the books, what it means to you. So over to you.
Okay, well, I have a strawberry basil margarita with stuff from my garden that I grew myself, so it's pretty good. It's a hot
Wow.
day. Yeah. And so I'm a new like Wheel of Time fan. I read the books. I just actually finished them last month. And I just like binge read them. I was in a bad place in my life, I think you could say, and just had a hard last 2 years. And I just read it, and that moment when Rand's on the dragon mount and he just like zens out, that really moved me a lot, and it meant a lot to me, and it helped me get through my tough shit and get my stuff back together. And so I'm like, this is amazing. And because I have like a background of working in film and TV, I kind of remembered hearing about they were going to adapt this into a Amazon show. And so, like, when I was in the middle of reading the books, I kind of like made the mistake of seeing the preview.
Oh
And I'm like,
fuck.
what the fuck? Who are these people? Like, who are what characters. Like I had to look at the cast to try to figure out what's going on. And I wanted to finish the books, but the anger was burning in me. And I ended up finding ended up watching a whole bunch of like Night's Watch videos, and they kept talking about like our white cloaks, and I'm like, I need to find the sub. I mean, I hate Reddit. I didn't want to go back on there, but I have to vent to somebody. And then I found out it got banned, and it took me a few days of digging through like the comments on their video to find out that you guys had a Discord. And then I had to get like re-signed up for Discord, and then that's how I found you guys. So
And I really
Wow.
appreciate the sort of levels of effort it took you to actually find us. That is
yeah,
fantastic.
it took me a good like 2 days.
Uh,
But I watched some of your
No,
videos and I'm just like, what the hell?
so I have a question for you. Um,
Hmm.
Having seen this conversation on social media in a couple different places, the idea that like the people in Randland, especially the Aiel, especially some of the Borderlander characters, Rand, the sort of main characters, like how there's such a case study in like uh emotional repression and like all sorts of like different disorders, essentially that like mental health disorders are
Oh
rampant
God.
among the IEL. Like the IEL can't handle their shit is essentially like one of the themes. And I always was struck by that because I'm somebody who's read a fair amount of like Stoicism, Stoic philosophy, and it's always resonated a lot with me. It's kind of how I was brought up, but it's also been sort of my lived experience. Um, so I'm curious, someone who encountered this series later in life, how did I think, kind of Stoicism and the like Stoic kind of philosophy messaging that is a big part of some of these character arcs, especially Rand, I think. How did that work for you?
Well, I thought it was really interesting. I think Rand is specifically interesting for me because like I have fibromyalgia and I've been dealing with chronic pain for like 20 years. And I know he gets his 2 injuries, and people meet him and they're like, oh my God, how do you even function with this? So I could totally relate to that. But it's like earlier in my life, because I had this condition since I've been about 20. um I've had to deal with it and just figure out how to keep going, and despite of my pain or in spite of my pain. So I always get really excited when I read or come upon a character like Rand or something like that, where they're dealing with that, because it really mirrored what I've done in my own life. I think, what was it, Lamb telling him that he has to, like, whatever you do, like, face it on your feet or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's
wait,
I definitely encountered the writings of Marcus Aurelius, like, probably in my early 30s, and so I was very interested to read that, and it kind of gave me perspective, because sometimes you fall into self-pitying or wondering, like, why me, why do I have to do this? But like, to see the character like of Rand do that. And I think what's important with Rand too is that he has a bunch of bad things happen to him, but at the end of the day, it's like he doesn't become the asshole. Like, he can still be like a good person, and that's always really important, especially for someone like me that finds like anger so much in all the things, in all the horrible feelings that the pain condition brings about.
but my lady, I have to ask the question. Rand is a male ginger who's 6'5".
Oh my God.
How is it
Well,
possible that you can relate to this character? He doesn't look anything like you, does
I
According
he?
to
don't
the rules
know.
of representation, yeah, this is impossible.
Well, I'm choosing to I'm choosing to be a man, and yeah,
Huh?
no,
Wait,
this is
I
silly.
think that actually that makes sense. Is that in the moment that you're reading the Wheel of Time, you're
I'm a
you're
man.
identifying as a
I'm
man,
six foot
probably,
five, like
right?
hot, smoking hot ginger with like insane amounts of power. Like, come on, who doesn't want to be that?
Gosh, I never actually thought of that point. I've been deluding myself this entire time by being able to empathize with these characters. I can't wield magical powers or talk to wolves, and I don't have the dead memories of generations of sort of people in my mind. So I've been lying to myself. I can't possibly empathize with the Wheel of Time.
Yeah,
but
no,
you are a horse,
I was
so
gonna say,
That is true.
how come you can't identify with your namesake?
Oh well, that's the only one I can identify with, obviously.
Hey,
we all identify with Pips.
I'm just a
What a
raging Balefire.
uh,
okay. That's
well,
great.
I appreciated that sort of insight into your experience reading it. I think a lot of us, we read this book, we read these series so long ago, and sort of like kind of grew up with it. And I always really appreciate the perspective of somebody who encountered it kind of later in life and has, I think, more maturity, but also like more experience as a
Uh,
lens to view the book through, versus some of us who read it when we were still kids and you know had a different kind of experience with it because of that.
yeah, you know what I really like about the book, and you find this in so many like postmodern or like modern literature nowadays, is like it's hopeful. Like it gives you something to hope for. It's like one of my criticisms of the show was that it starts these characters in these like really dark places. So like where are they gonna go from there? But like the show is, the books are like they start from innocence, they go through some stuff, and then by the end of the time they're still hopeful. Like it's, we're missing that in
Yeah.
the modern world.
Rand's whole dream is to kind of go back to the life he always wanted to live, right? The very end of the series, what do you think Rand is going to do? He's got a pocket full of gold. He can light his own pipe, but what does he want? He probably wants to go back to the Two Rivers to retire with his new Morgan
Travel, come
body.
on.
See the world maybe a little bit, but I mean,
Y'all want to go back to the farm in the
if
end. I can relate.
but if your farm was as depicted in the TV show, why the fuck would you want to go back to that?
No, thank you.
Exactly. All right. So let's start off, and we've got our wonderful Swan Sanche cold open.
Yep.
Hooray.
All right. I'll go ahead and hit play. Just remember, Balefire already brought this up, but whatever comes, face it on your feet.
I'm sitting down and I'm fucking drinking.
And I already have to stop.
All right,
Okay.
Pips. Lay it on us.
I told Dane I was going to do this. The start here. This is an old post from our White Cloaks. So here's a quote from the Dragon Reborn. Tyr was built on flat land with barely a bump. There you
No
go,
way.
ladies and gentlemen.
I feel
So
like I'm
wait.
in China or something.
Wait, what?
I feel like I'm China. Like, look at the rivers. It's got like their terrace
Oh,
for
yeah.
agriculture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
heard
looks
something
kinda
else
like,
there.
I don't even know what this is.
Well, I paused it
It's
probably a little too far back. Up in the top left, you can see the very bottom of some towering kind of citadel. Looks sort of like a palace, maybe. And then
So-
in the center, you can see what could be a bay or something like that, kind of
No.
opening up.
No,
Maybe a big lake. I don't
River's
know.
flowing the wrong direction for that.
probably,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, are you saying this is a CGI shot and it's like half a second in the top left corner and no one notices it, but they still spent money on the CGI to put in the fucking Stone of Tyr?
You see it in one more shot as well, so I'll try and pause it there.
Yeah,
But the
you
point that I
don't
was going to
need it
make
here.
is, yeah, fair. So the point I was going to make was just, the terraced land, the mountains, all this stuff. Like this, like anyone who read the book would not have thought of this as Tyr. It's certainly not the mall, which is where Swan Sanche actually grew up, which was like the
Mhm.
roughest part of Tyr. Instead, this is like an idyllic little mountain village. Although
In the
we've seen,
interior of China.
yeah, I was gonna say this does look kind of like the Yangtze or something. But
Not
I
even
guess
the Yangtze or those are big fucking rivers. This is like a tributary of some mountain river.
to it for fair.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but anyway, I just can't imagine like who would have thought that this is
So-
Tyr. I don't know.
so here's a quick question for you guys. So I know I've speculated with the season 2 map that came out in the behind the scenes look. I know we're conflating Tyr with Falma. Like that's happening.
Well, if they are, then
I think they're combining it.
this can't be the same thing that we saw in the behind the scenes because that was all arid
Well,
desert, right?
I know.
That's the desert. Climate change, guys. Get with the picture.
So here's the thing, right? So We know the Stone of Tyr is mentioned previously because Dana the Dark Friend mentions it. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Tyr comes up in this whole prologue. So, or this cold open. So, if and when they conflate Tyr and Falma in season 2, which they're gonna do because the one river delta that they actually do show is in that kind of trailer abortion. Um, do you think they're gonna mess that up too? Right, that they're
Of
gonna
course.
Yes.
call it Falma and Tyr, but then they'll realize, oh wait, we established Swan Sanche was from Tyr, which is this kind of forested river valley, which doesn't look at all like the desert setting that we're putting it in season 2.
I think if you're
And
asking if
also,
the
the river
people,
doesn't lead to Tarvalon, but who cares? So, yeah.
That's
if you're
not how rivers
asking,
work,
do the
Kane. Oh my
people,
god.
if you're asking, do the people in this show have any problem with contradicting themselves? The answer is no, and potentially fuck no.
Yeah, I should have learned that like 3 weeks ago, if
All right,
not 8 weeks ago.
all right, we're doing this, guys. There's our nice terraced rice patties. This kind
Oh
of
my
looks like
God.
the weird sort of pseudo shire that Gollum was from. Not
Who
buffering,
tattoos their child?
buffering.
Yes,
What?
who does? Come on.
Wait. I want to know. So I happen to have some inside info, but Lady Balefire, how old were you when you got your tattoos? Were you 7?
You'd have to ask me that. No, I wasn't. Like 7 plus 12, maybe. I was old enough. Old enough that I
So,
should have known better.
but you didn't. But it's not like your dad gave you those tattoos.
No. I always just think
And
this is really funny too, because I used to work at a kiosk in a mall where we did ear piercing with kids and stuff, and they would want us to do their kids' ears, and I'm like, their ears are gonna grow, guys. Like, you should probably wait.
wait,
They don't
what?
listen.
Yeah. No. So here's a good question too. And probably because there is a dearth of evidence to corroborate this. But if your 7-year-old was tattooed like this, like with a fucking heavy chest tattoo, like this is if this was a tramp stamp, this would be like a kind of grade A tramp stamp. Like it's pretty big, right?
Yeah,
But if you did this on a 7-year-old, what the fuck would this look like when she's fully grown? It
it's
would
gonna look
it
really weird.
it would like
I
stretch
also
weirdly, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna get weird.
very probably considering some growth is going to occur in that area. Not an expert here, but Balefire might be able to back that up. There's
Yeah.
probably going to be some stretch marks in
No,
those
not
tattoos.
Tattoos, no.
Uh,
not necessarily. What we got to ask is basically canvas the show fans, right? The women who really like the Wheel of Time show, who when they were 25 got said tramp stamp and then put on like 300 pounds, and then
here's a question though.
Phobic, Dane, come on.
Here's a
what?
question. How much do clavicle tattoos and like tattoos on the sternum hurt? Because I can just imagine her dad, who's supposed to be like a nice, sort of compassionate, like we're supposed to empathize with the dad. I'm assuming the dad was like holding his screaming child down as someone like
With one
gave,
fucking hand? Come
yeah,
on.
gave her all of these like extremely painful tattoos right on top of bones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
yeah.
you know what I
So,
want to wonder?
give you some idea.
Oh, okay.
A neck tattoo is one of the most painful tattoos you can have. The chest area is generally considered to be a yellow zone.
Meaning?
So like when I got mine, I got mine on my arm and my chest.
Neck
Um,
tattoos? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, but so they, as I was, getting
And
it
you have to
done,
wait until the end of the show to ask for pictures.
as I was getting it done, I was talking to the woman, and she basically said, "Yeah, I did a neck tattoo and a face tattoo today," and she said that those are basically the two worst. So that this is probably a little bit better than a neck tattoo, but this would also really hurt. And also, they don't have modern tattoo guns.
Oh yeah,
This was
Ah.
excruciating.
yeah. and on like a toddler, right? Like try getting a toddler to do anything.
Uh, so here's the other point to point. So Swan Sanche, as per described in the books, right? She doesn't look like this at all. She's not a black child. She's got blue eyes, dark
Very
hair.
pale skin, right?
Yeah, Tyran, but from a poor area. But they made her black. Neither here nor there. But when I first saw Swan Sanche in the trailer with the tattoos, I didn't see Child Swan because that wasn't revealed until later. I was like, oh, they made her sea folk.
Good point.
And that would have been way smarter. At least that would have been interesting.
That opens up a whole host of other lore problems, but
They could have just said that, you know, she was a sea folk foundling who got raised in the mall. Like, we don't really know that much about her childhood. So like, that among affronts to lore, that would have been very small.
yeah, she would have to be adopted then for sure. But yeah, woof.
I could have bought that easily than this.
Who sleeps like this?
People that don't have beds.
No, it's just pause it there. It's like
in ridiculous positions. So I don't
like we saw Lan in the previous episode sleeping on like a propped elbow in something uncomfortable, but
I thought they date raped him in that scene.
They did. He was totally roofied, but I'm not saying that Swan's roofied in this right here. But no. First, okay, if you're gonna sleep in a hammock, why would you string it up so close together like this, right? It's swooping down quite egregiously. Like these hammock arms are coming down at like 45-degree angles, and she's lolling with her head to the side with no support. I'm pretty sure no one on Earth has ever slept like this.
A cat.
I don't know. Kids sleep in stupid positions all the time. And my take on this was that this isn't actually a hammock. It's just another hanging fishing net that she just decided to climb into. But I mean, it's a stupid shot. It was set up exclusively for this framing of having him in the door with her in front of it. Like,
And we'll never see it again because it all burns down. Hooray.
Wish the rest of the movie did.
Dare to dream.
Hey, just a thought here. The dad's showing some of those tattoos. His also look totally perfectly fine.
Nice.
No distorting, no fading.
Are the fish stirring, Papa?
Aye.
Fish stirring?
Jumping for their breakfast?
Yes, we got you then.
Before some other bastard does.
Fuck you, you dumb. Fuck Swan. You don't say. But you also don't say bastard. Like what the hell is wrong with these people?
Come on.
Yeah.
Trying to be edgy.
So
sucks.
So this shot here, again, showing the absolute ridiculous mountain. So anybody who's like grown up in a place, right, that has mountains and rivers and stuff, look at the slope of these mountains and tell me how fast would this river be flowing?
I know, right?
Well, it depends on the season. So I don't know if this is a CGI thing, but if it's in the rainy season, that river would be fucking going. If it's in the drier season,
I mean,
like autumn,
that is a fair point.
Yeah, but it's like
colder. I mean, it looks like it's the fall, and they're just wearing like lightweight clothing.
Yeah, I'm just basically looking at the shore though. So like based on looking at what's on the sides of the river here, this appears to be about the peak height of this river.
Yeah, so it's
you're right. This is the highest that river will get.
Yeah. So whatever season it is, when I saw this shot, I was like, if those aren't CGI mountains, I don't know where this is, but like this is got to be the only stretch of this river that is nice and quiet, and there's probably a rapid around both corners.
Fair point.
We're about to see her use. Oh, there's the stone of tears.
Castle.
Oh God!
Why is it pointed?
Yeah, it's supposed to be blocky, so large that it looks like a mountain, which they did a reasonable job of making it comically large to look like a mountain. It's supposed to look like a mountain when there aren't any freaking mountains around it. Having it in around mountains makes it just silly.
I didn't notice it when I first watched it.
Mm. Well,
We're just gonna ignore that fucking bridge to the right of it.
it was there before as well. It's in all of
No,
the
but
shots of it.
I know, but why? Like,
This is hilarious. Literally, no men in this show are allowed to be competent.
well,
They
Alex. So, Alex, you brought this up kind of in a previous rewatch. How many father figures do we have in the show? We had Tam. We had Abel. We had Maxim's dad who tried to murder him. We had
So close.
Stepan's dad who was a drunken retard.
Tried to beat him to death, presumably. Also so
Yeah.
close.
And then I think we had Bran Alvear, who was the skinny innkeeper. Now we have.
Trustworthy.
By his wife.
Huh?
You can't trust the skinny ones. Come on, did you guys not read the same like series that I did? I thought you'd learn that from that.
Yeah,
Skinny innkeepers are untrustworthy.
that's Dane's point. I was going to say, but like he was the closest one, and he got regularly dunked on by his wife. It happened like 4 times in that scene.
Very good. Now we finally have a 6th father figure. He's missing an arm, and I think at the end of the scene he does something pretty bad. But let's keep watching and see if there is a redeemable father figure in this neck-tattooed fisherman.
He has neck tattoos. It's over.
It's super annoying.
Oh, now we know he's disabled, so you can't be mean to him, Lady Balefire, anymore. He is a what is it? He's
I'm ableist. Watch me. I'm a disabled.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the only reason they did this, is because they were like, see, we have gays, minorities, women, and handicapped people. Like, we checked off every box on the sheet. Aren't you proud of us, Amazon?
Very proud.
So much as somebody that actually has a disability. Like, I just hate it. It's so like insulting. It's like you wouldn't even see me as a person, just like whatever my condition is. I hate it. And it's, as a writer, this is just a really cheap way of building sympathy for a character.
It's also a really bad.
Well, it's sympathy by proxy. Well, no, it honestly, it might not be prosthetic, right? They might have cast this actor precisely because he was missing a hand.
I think this is a somewhat recognized actor. Like, I think I've seen him in other stuff.
Oh, we could dig it up, but
yeah, somebody in the chat will tell me if I'm wrong. It looks like a very bad prosthetic thing. I don't know. Somebody can correct me and tell me that I'm super bigoted and ableist for not recognizing, a real, authentic stump when I see one.
I'm glad you brought it up because you're a horse, but yeah, but if this was actually CGI, then chalk it up to another shot where they wasted a bunch of money. Like, they could have found someone without a left hand.
Or they could have just not had her dad be missing a hand. Like, literally, what did that add to the damn story?
Nothing. All it did was undermine the handy-capable people of this world, because, as we'll see in the later part of this scene, he turns into probably a shittier dad than definitely Tam, maybe Abel. And
on par with
I think
Abel,
he's on
sure.
par. No, on par with Maxim's dad, because Maxim's dad actually tried to kill him, and this dad sent his daughter up the fucking river for a 3,000-mile journey. But I'm spoiling everything.
This would definitely be negligent care of a child, and if something happened to her, it would definitely be negligent homicide. So, no, this man is not redeemed. This guy is played by Peter DeJersey. I'm probably pronouncing that horribly, and this is an actor that does have both hands.
See, I knew it. I knew that was too dumb of a looking.
All right, Pips. I'm gonna say you win, but I'm not gonna say it for the whole episode. I say you win for this cold open. Well played.
I'll take it.
Also, man, shout out to the surgeon who did that. What do you call it when you chop a limb off?
Amputation.
Yes, the surgeon who did that amputation. That surgeon back then puts modern doctors to shame. But either way,
It was probably a woman.
He would have died if it wasn't.
I'm here all week.
Okay, how old is Swan in this shot?
I mean, before we said 7, right? When we were talking about the tattoo, but I think she
7,
could
8.
she could be like 10 or 11. I don't know. I mean,
When
Okay,
do
I just
girls
have to
start
say
channeling if
something
they have the
'cause
spark?
we have an expert here in lady sort of growth rates and things. So
Okay, let's
lady B,
defer to.
how
I
old is
think she
she?
looks probably like maybe 7, 8.
There you go. Better shot.
Yeah.
So I have to stop right here because I do have background in filmmaking. I'm a writer mostly. I was studying directing for a while. I was talking to my friend and he's really good at doing like graphics and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I'm reading this Wheel of Time, right? And if I describe to you the magic system is a weave and they use different elements to make weaves, how would you visualize this? He's like, I don't know. I'd use some different colors and like weave it together. And I'm
Hol-
just like, and
Holy
he
fucking
watched it.
shit.
Yeah,
Well,
so I
You
hate
mean
it.
exactly how Robert Jordan imagined it himself, or how
It's
Chuck
such a
Dixon interpreted it in the graphic novels?
no. I'm just telling him. I'm just like, okay, we're gonna make a film, and our magic system is weaves, and it's weaving, and there's different elements. What would you do? He's like, I'd make up different colors and weave them together. And I'm like, okay, they don't do it in this show, and it looks so bad. What is wrong with these people?
and that is
And
a
the lighting.
consistent thing in this show where like literal just like random people with no connection to the book, nobody's paying them, they're not doing this full time, are just sitting there and be like, oh, I would probably do it, I don't know, any number of these ways, and they're like, nah.
Who would teach her this too? Like, I mean, she already knows how to do it. Why send her off to the White Tower?
Well, we established in the last episode that women don't actually have to go to the White Tower because Egwene was able to shoot fireballs and burn rope, and she was never
Oh
taught
God.
anything.
Also,
Oh
this
God.
peasant girl would probably get turned away for ratty clothes and her accent.
I do
Mhm.
love that they established that in this show, that the White Tower is so like bigoted and, sort of like, against the poor people. And then this basically orphaned fishing girl shows up in a raft with nothing but the clothes on her back,
So
and she gets turned into the Amerlin. So
I have a quick question. Um, uh, Alex, correct me if I'm wrong. Why the fuck is Swan Sanche and her father in a metal boat with?
I'm not sure if it's metal. To me, it looks fiberglass painted to be wood.
It's not wood panel. This is not kind of a wood. Look at that. Look down the side. There's no paneling. There's no two
Oh,
pieces of wood.
shit. If you look at the back end of it, like
It's
where
like the boat at
Swan is
Disneyland.
standing,
Dane, don't ask questions.
yeah, what this looks like to me is that it's probably a metal or a fiberglass boat that they like put some wooden boards on the outside.
No,
yeah,
they put a bamboo fucking pole on the outside to make it look less like an actual metal dinghy. But
yeah,
this is not an actual fucking medieval or fantasy era boat. This this is a metal boat. This is
The
what they,
jungle
and
is
if it's
much
not metal,
better.
it's fiberglass, and that's technically worse.
yeah. Pips, to answer your question, Kira Chanza turned 7 in 2020, and I believe that from this was shot.
So she's half the age of a girl who actually would learn how to channel or have the spark, and she's with her amputee father, who's not an amputee in real life but can play one,
Well,
and
Dane,
on a metal dinghy with a fucking bamboo rod tied to the side to make it look less like not a metal boat.
Let's just hope they don't get into a thunderstorm or something.
Which is more offensive, Dane? The fact that she's 7 and channeling for the first time, or that Egwene is like 22 and channeling for the first time?
That she's 7. Like that. I don't know why we're getting this cold open because Swan Sanche is a fucking terrible character. Like some people like her, but really like, oh my god, like I don't think anyone out there is like, oh, Swan and Gareth Bryn, that's my favorite character arc. These are, oh, it's so great, so wonderful. No.
You guys, I think we all make a mistake of thinking that like we know this story, so we can kind of figure out what they're trying to do. Like I watched this with my brother. We watched episodes 4 and episode 5, and he doesn't know the story at all. So this is kind of a funny story that I have to tell you guys. So we got the idea that Rand.
Can you
is
tell me
like,
the story while I play this? Or
yeah,
okay.
do it. Okay, so Rand is Rand and Matt are supposed to be the dragon, and I asked my brother, who do you think is the dragon? And he's like, well, it's Rand. And I'm like, oh my god, how do you know this? And he ends up saying, he's like, well, he watches a lot of anime, and he's like, well, they have 23 minutes to tell the story, and so when they have the really powerful characters, they just travel. So obviously Rand just travels, and then he goes into the bookstore, and then he opens the book, and there's the dragon, and then like the guy, and he totally forgets, like he wanted to call him like a Wookiee, but he called him a Wooby because of the blanket, Pips, you were in the Marines, right? Woobies. And
Sure.
it's like, you've never seen a Wooby? Like those are the best blankets ever. Anyway, so he's like, so Loyal's like, dude, you're the dragon. And then like my brother's like, oh yeah, he's the dragon. Come on. So I'm like, wait, you know that Rand's channeling and he can travel and like, dude, you can see to Viernan. Like, are you not the fucking like dragon? I think my brother has powers.
Well,
Anyway.
it's one of those things, and they talked about it a little bit in Multiverse of Madness, which is showrunners. Or not Multiverse of Madness, WandaVision. Everybody has the internet. You can't do a who is this character in 2022 for an adaptation. Your show is too long and too boring. People will look it up and know the answer and spoil it for themselves. Stop wasting time doing this shit.
You couldn't have done it in 1993.
Yeah.
My brother didn't know this story, so he was just pulling on his knowledge of like anime and stuff. And see, I talked to Aldan about this, and he was saying his kids did it too because they watch that kind of stuff too. And he's like, every time they try to make like a magical character, like they have different color hair and stuff like that. But I just thought it was so funny because he didn't know anything about the story, and he's all like, Rand can travel, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he's like, oh, he better be really careful because he's in Tarvalon and they're gonna find him. And I'm like, how
we
do you
did
know
bring
this?
that up, that Rand has main character hair.
Yeah, it's main character hair, yeah.
That's why they cut it off in season 2, because he's not the main character anymore.
Yeah, with this scene right here is like, we know that this is supposed to be Siobhan, but if you didn't know the story, you don't know who this is. Just like my brother didn't know in the story that like when Rand goes to Cane Lane, he goes into the library of the inn and meets Loyal. Like, he didn't know that. So my brother was just assuming he went into like a bookstore or something.
If they
like,
didn't
no
call this
continuity.
character Swan in this scene, you wouldn't be able to know who she is.
Yeah, you wouldn't know who this was or what the fuck is going on. And the same with the Tigraine, like,
oh my
flashback.
god.
Like, who is this?
Yeah. I just want to point out, so are these actual dogs barking because she's channeling, or are there wolves around here? What are we trying to say here?
Could be wolves. We don't know.
The wolves cannot wait to eat this guy.
And obviously we saw her untying a rope with a weave, because heaven forbid she reach over like 6 inches and just help her dad untie
with
a
her
knot.
hands, because that's technically easier.
It makes me think of the scene in the books where Egwene is talking about how much more power you have and control in Tel'aran'rhiod than in the real world. She was talking about how no one would have fine enough control over the one power to pull honey back out of tea, which admittedly is way harder than this, but she's not trained, and she's apparently untangling like super tied ropes with the one power instead of just doing it with her fingers. Like, there's no way she would have that much control.
I was going to say
Not as the 7-year-old who's like 7 years away from the spark, but whatever.
I was going to ask Lady Balefire, you've been through a college writing class recently. Um, what do modern critical writing theories tell you about interrupting somebody with a handicap so that you can do the job better than they can?
Oh.
Is that like the MO of this series? Like they're so obsessed with trying to get all of their like checkbox characters and issues in that they end up like saying the worst thing, like the whole like what's this name? Step and Fetch It character, which is I'm surprised you guys didn't pick this up. Like the whole name of Steppen, it's half of the name of Step and Fetch It, which is a like stock minstrel character from like the 1880s and became like a blackface character. They just race reversed it in that.
Steppen is from New Spring. I never delved deeper than that. Step and Fetch It? I think
You've
there's
never
a
heard
meme
it.
in
You
there.
guys need to look up Step and Fetch It. It'll like blow your mind.
Well, we'll maybe post something in
Homework, guys.
the description of this video when we get there. But that's pretty hilarious
too
because that
basic for
actually
us.
that makes an interesting point about Robert Jordan's use of the name Steppen, because we know that he could play the lute or the bittern even better than potentially any minstrel. I think is the line there.
Yeah,
Isn't it, Dane?
yeah. It's better than any hired musician. But a bittern
Yeah.
that's a fake musical instrument that was a Robert Jordan creation. But
Yeah.
let's get through this annoying
Some guy, like just
shit.
acknowledging that,
Just to point out here, guys, just to point out here, this confirms that regular people can see weaves of the one power, unless somebody is close enough to watch a guy unraveling a knot and see a knot unravel and then to be like, bullshit, one power. He's actively attempting to untangle this and it becomes untangled. Anyone who's not in the boat would not be surprised by that. So the only reason this line makes sense is because he can see the weaves that she makes, so he knows that other people can see it.
That's true enough. It's basically no one would raise a red flag to this action, right? Unless they were also a woman that can channel. And if you're a woman that can channel and tear, then you wouldn't be raising that as an issue to the defenders of the stone or anything else like that, because you'd be implicating yourself.
Yep.
So this is what's the word? It's not retarded. Maybe it is retarded, but what's more offensive? What's more offensive than retarded?
Perrin.
Okay.
I guess could you make the argument? And I know this argument is dumb, but could you make the argument that he knows his 7-year-old daughter can channel?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, but
in the show.
But why is he saying no one saw us? It was just the two of us. Like, if no one else can see the weaves except another woman that can channel, what's the risk, right?
That's an excellent point.
Like I said, this line right here, all the people, all the show shills have not seen this line apparently.
Yeah, no, like,
it was the same thing with Valda trying to get Egwene to channel, because my brother didn't know this again, and he's like, if he's asking her to channel, then he must be able to see it, so he can channel too. And I'm like, I hate that argument because he's a white cloak, but like my brother was right, according to the show logic, that's how it works.
Except men in the books, men can't see women channel and vice versa. But this is the other point: is Pips has taken kind of the avatar of the retarded horse from Family Guy, with the eyeballs that kind of look out to the sides, and it's very derpy. But Pips has proven once again, he's far more intelligent than any of us, especially the show shills. Like, that's a good insight. Yeah, it's like
all it is that I'm not quite yet as drunk as the rest of you guys, but I'm trying hard to catch up.
All right, let's catch
it. We got a head start.
Let's catch up and let's move on, because we've got some.
The wise woman knows the breaking point of her line.
Oh god!
Fuck you.
He says out of sight of the village, buddy. What village?
Also, he said breaking point of a line, and then said don't push yours. I think pull. You pull a line to make it break.
Well, if you push on thread, what happens? Yeah, exactly. All right, this is fucking funny.
It is kind of.
So he brings the fish on, and then he pulls his knife out with a big shing, and then he's like, "Stay back," and step like 3 steps, and your house is burned down.
He couldn't see
What
that
the-
from the boat, though.
What the fuck is this? Like,
Bam, right there on the right side, guys. I think it zooms in. We'll play it. I
does.
think it zooms in.
Well, like this is shitty too. But that was the shot there, Pips. It was the dragon's fang.
Yeah.
And the only
I'm not gonna go
redeemable
back to
thing
it.
about this, if you pause here, the only redeemable thing about that dragon's fang shot on that shitty fucking door is that the orientation was correct. Unlike the dragon's fang that Land found in the 2 rivers,
Yep.
that could have been the flame of Tarvalon. So
Wait, did you guys catch in that deleted scene with the that was supposed to be Egwene bathing in like lamb's blood or something?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
They had in the cave, it was the dragon's fang too. I was just laughing, just so funny because with their cinematography is just so off. But
no, that was later. That's when Nynaeve kills the Trolloc, and then she like jumps out of the pool like Predator, and the blood kind of makes that dragon's fang symbol. Yeah, like it sucked, but
Yeah.
what have you. All right,
trying.
3,000-mile journey. You fucking negligent father. How many fish are you giving her?
Where's he gonna live?
Like 7?
That's the other question.
Without the boat,
What is he doing?
I mean, there's just no continuity in the story. It's like, why was the house burned down? We don't know. Why does she have to leave? Why is he leaving her?
It is weird. Like his house is burned down, so he doesn't have anything left here. He's only got the 1 boat. She's asking very good questions. So the only answer the only answer that's left to you is that he's trying to get rid of her. Like any father would take her to Tarvalon under these circumstances, right? Because he has literally no reason to stay behind.
Now,
So
here's the question:
the only reason to send her on her own.
Is he actually the father, or was he cucked by someone else? And then he's just like, go to Tarvalon because a fish can't touch the moon.
Oh my god,
we'll
that's
get,
father.
We'll get to that line in a second. At this point,
Yeah.
I'm saying she better inspect the bottom of that boat for holes.
Right. Make sure there's not a bomb in that sack.
Oh,
Oh
What?
gosh, more about the men of this
not
world.
safe for girls anywhere. Oh my god.
why doesn't he go with?
Here it is. Here it is. There it is, guys.
I know, boy.
The fish can't touch the moon.
Proving. Oh, that's a great face to pause that on. Proving once again that all men are idiots because this 7-year-old just immediately came up with a funny quip to make his line stupid.
Oh, what she should have done is called her father a cuck. Ha ha ha! Chuckles, he says.
Too bloody clever for this place.
Because you were the
There you
fucking
go.
spawn of another man.
Time to go.
Well, that was easy.
don't belong there. At the White Tower. I should be here. With you.
Swan.
Damn. That's now we know who she is, guys.
Have y'all
Again, my
ever heard of
screenwriter self is wondering why. What is the point of this?
Wait! Stop! You're gonna do great things, and if any of them bastards tries to shame you, who the fuck wrote this?
I would not talk to my 7-year-old like that. I don't know, like.
Gonna.
Is it wrong? I was just happy they didn't have him say finna axe you.
I'm a
Maybe.
gonna.
Oh my fucking god.
Alex is on the point that I'm going on, I think, which is that this is like, yeah, it's urban English. It's a real thing. It's totally good, and we should stop doing spelling tests.
Black American English, guys, come on.
Them bastards tries to shame you. You show them who you are. Swan such Daughter of the river.
Muff diver of the deep.
Daughter of the river, is that supposed to be literal? Are we supposed to believe that she's sort of an immaculate conception story? That the lady of the lake, her arm clad in shimmering samite, held aloft Swan Sanche.
Oh my god.
Strange women lying in ponds is no system for a basis of government.
I'm just going to say this dialogue is just bad. Rafe might be the only like self-acclaimed progressive that doesn't use pronouns horribly.
Now he does, but like, oh god.
No, but it's Swan Sanche. Guys, did you get it? This is Swan Sanche.
That's because he knows that no one would be able to know who she is unless it literally says it on the screen.
Like, she's a significant fucking character. Like, oh my god.
Strong.
Women affirming women.
Oh.
Also, she's fucking 7, my dude.
Yeah, she's stronger than him. He's only got one hand.
Picking up her fucking stick.
So I was a 7-year-old. I mean, like, I'm an old woman. Like, I work out regularly. I do not have the upper body strength to go against a freaking river. Jesus, she's 7.
Well, here's the thing. Is she going upriver or downriver? Because we got Tyr down there.
Yep, she's got the Stone of Tyr behind her.
She should technically be going upriver, but I don't know in this
But is she going with the current or not? But regardless, I think it's still a 3,000-mile journey, according to any world map, to Tarvalon.
Dude, when Judkins said, our show isn't going to be like Game of Thrones, we're just not going to have teleport everywhere. I was like, my brother in Christ, are you fucking me? You had a 7-year-old teleport 3,000 miles. Either that or she's
can travel to the library in the bookstore. Like, why not?
Right? This 7-year-old is going to have the most jacked arms in the world. Swan should still be shredded from this workout.
Without her dad. Oh my god. Like, who could defend this? In her metal boat with bamboo on the side. Tear strolling down her cheek. Hiya, 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 music.
I love people who.
The fact this show has like an $80 million budget, and people like me in my film school, like, we'd be so excited if we got like $100,000 to make a movie, and our movie would be way better than this.
All right, guys, we're gonna skip the intro.
Nice.
I hate the intro.
Oh, too far. Sally, 2 names.
All right, guys. Do you see it? You see the little blue stone sort of like headpiece? You see the Easter egg, guys? You see it?
Oh god.
All right, give me a second, Pips. You keep saying what you're saying. I'll be back in a bit.
No, we're playing without him.
She comes. Uh-oh, she comes.
Oh man.
I'm surprised they gave the white girl braids. Isn't that cultural appropriation?
They're really impressed with themselves about that, actually. Because it's like, oh yeah, she's from the place and she's got braided hair.
I know, but it's in the books, but like they wouldn't definitely like the show like that.
Okay.
Appropriation.
God.
So first of all,
was that cut animation?
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. I do want to point out though that you know, you got to applaud this show. We've said a lot before about them not willing to, you know, show the male gaze. Doing the vertical shot, looking down all these women's dresses. I mean, you know, that's a bold move, Cotton. These guys over here just really playing into the male gaze with that Alana, you know, a good push-up action there and it panning up like that. I didn't expect that from them. Didn't expect that from them.
They overuse the drone shots, but I guess, you know, as a filmmaker,
this isn't a drone shot.
straight up
It-
bad animation. They didn't
Yeah.
even bother to rough in the textures
No.
on this. This is
No.
badly rendered.
I saw
Yes.
this already, and I'm back. You're welcome. But I
missed
saw
you.
this. Did you? No. But this exact shot was used in the trailer for
Yeah.
the show. Like
Yeah.
this shot was in there when they were showing the dancing in the circle and the graves in the circle, and then they showed the hull of the tower in the circle.
Yeah, I think it pans out a little taller even here.
Well, you
Oh.
can actually see
This is egregiously bad animation.
yeah, it is
It's
jarring
needless
when it
too.
goes
Does
this
it
is-
go this high? Hi, and
Like-
can we talk about the safety of this place? Someone's gonna fall off of this, whatever, like
I just
giant stone dildo or whatever this is supposed to be.
I just like the idea that the only place that
this is more
could
like
exist,
a fucking sex sleeve than a dildo, because it's the opposite,
Fleshlight.
right?
the
Fleshlight. Yeah,
only
that's what it is.
the only place that
Flashlight
this
for
could
the Black
exist.
Tower guy.
Wait,
The only place that this could exist inside the White Tower that we've seen from the outside is they actually have their meetings. The hall of the tower is just the base of the shaft.
No, this
They're-
could be in one of the
just-
balls. This is only 5
Nope.
stories tall. I think this is one of the balls, and I
Nope.
think the other ball is going to be the warded training grounds, because they're going to reuse the same setting with some sand in the next season. But that's what we got. We got a white tower. We got a hall to one side, which is the left nut, and then the warder training grounds is going to be the right nut. Calling it now.
At least something in this show has balls.
Either way, though, what do you guys think? Like, would any of you have ever thought, and then looking at this shot, does it make any sense that the sitters for the Ajas would have been around the outside like this, and that 2 of the Ajas would have like representation immediately adjacent to the Amerlin seat, and all of the other ones would be arranged like on the other
I'm
side?
tugging at both my braids so hard right now.
This is the dumbest setup. This is literally like no one who ever read anything about the Hall of the Tower, no one who's ever read any or even seen a picture of literally any government building ever in the history of people has designed it this way. Where like
Knights of the Round Table, we dance whenever we're able.
yeah, this is asinine.
Can you imagine
So-
how
This is just
difficult
dumb
it
too.
would
I
be
mean, look at all the people
to
that
list-
could listen in onto their meetings. I mean,
Yep.
how many
Yes.
times did they tell them the book? Like, where to get eavesdropping? I don't know.
We got the Hall of the Tower, but we've got like 7 extra floors without railings, and you can just basically lurk up there and listen in. That's a very good point.
As an
This
OSHA
is-
certified safety inspector, this building would fail.
But this isn't even a hall. This is like what the fuck would you call this, right? It's like a
The flashlight for the Black Tower guys. Pips called it.
no, you did,
I
Lady
did.
Balefire. You
Oh,
and your
This is it's egregious.
Yeah.
Let's keep playing.
Keep
This is-
going.
but
This shot
it's
even
clear. It's basically Mass Effect Andromeda had better fucking animation than that.
yeah. God, the music is so bad.
Close your mouth.
She's excited because her girlfriend's sitting on her chair.
Can't you guys see it? Don't you see the stole? Don't you see the stole of the Amerlin?
And the sea folk tattoo down her fucking middle that didn't stretch or strain or anything.
I'm gonna say one good thing here. I'm big into costuming. I've done lots of cosplay and historical reenactment, and I absolutely love the like fabric origami done on the sleeves. But that's like literally the only good thing about this like costume. Like I don't know what's going on with the collar, but it looks really bad. It doesn't go with the rest of the outfit.
Yeah, the color's
Yeah.
terrible.
I
But
mean,
It's not even an Amerlin flag. It's or Amerlin stole.
Why put her in gold? Like she's supposed to wear white, and it's all of the Ajas and none of them.
well, I mean, she can wear whatever color she wants. She just has to have the stole. But I do agree with what Dane was about to say about this is not actually the colors of the Amerlin.
No, it's not.
That looks
We
like a
got
different rainbow.
we got
Oh god.
red,
Oh, you got
purple,
it's the trans
yellow,
rainbow.
purple. Oh yeah, but it's not.
It's
Do you
pink
guys
and
do
yellow
you
and
guys see
green.
brown on there? I don't see brown. I don't see gray.
Maybe.
Uh,
I see gray twice, but I don't know
maybe
if
it's
you
a new
guys are
gender that
colorblind
just
or I
dropped.
am.
I mean, it's the fabric is shimmery and it's hard to tell the colors, which again, why would you do an important detail like that? Why would you do it in like faded, shitty colors? But also, like if you look at that closely, it's like I would say that there is definitely red on the outside, then probably green, then yellow. And then after that, like the next three colors, really hard to tell. And then
No, but
white on the
it's
very
like
inside.
a rainbow doesn't work like that. It goes like red, orange, yellow, green, blue,
Well,
whatever.
but
Reggie
you
Bibb.
are thinking of the rainbow of sort of like, bifurcated light, whereas that's not what this is. So I don't necessarily have a problem with the colors not, being your Roy G. Biv, right? But I don't see
Yeah,
brown
man.
on there and I don't see gray on there. So it looks retarded. It looks terrible.
She represents the brown with her skin tone.
uh
Look at her face. It doesn't say scared. It says
Wait,
anticipation.
I got
She's
canceled
the
just
worst
now, didn't I?
actress in the world.
what was that, Alex?
I said, either she's the worst actress in the world, something that I don't
Yep.
think is the case, or the direction here is just bad. Like you're supposed to be pretending to not know this woman, and instead your mouth is agape. Subtlety is well and truly dead.
Yeah. I will say there's a lot of women in dresses. So
Are they?
yeah, several of them. Yeah, I
I
think
think it's
so. Do
really
you guys do
funny
you guys
that like
disagree?
I disagree. I think Alana is kind of in a dress, maybe
Alana's
Moraine.
definitely in a dress. Several of the sitters definitely in dresses.
Yeah, they're more like in
Marine, I would
robes.
say I would say that's a dress on Marine as well. No, because a robe it closes in the front as that's
Hmm.
one of the hallmarks of a robe. It has to have a flap close in the front.
it kind of remind me of like Jedi, like from playing Knights of the Old Republic or something.
Yeah. Um, Alex, you said something about the character that they cast for Liana. They put her in like just a trash bag of a costume over there on the right hand side, didn't they?
This, if we're talking about the like beautiful women dressed down for a show, um, I'm forgetting her name now, but the actress on the right with the staff is a stunningly gorgeous woman, and they
Liana.
rose Tico'd her so hard.
Oh man.
Just wait. We'll pause on her if she hasn't had it already. But
When she slams her staff.
oh
Yeah.
my,
Yeah, that does nothing for her. Oh my god.
No. And like I said, it's literally a trash bag of a dress. Like that is so unflattering.
So
Like
ugly.
I mean, doesn't this go back to the male gaze? It's like, well, we can't have her looking sexy for the male gaze. It's like, you
How
fucking
much
moron.
that fits?
You,
Jeez.
you're making a show in which you are lesbian baiting hard, and yet you've uglied down your women and dressed them in trash bags. Rafe, buddy, lesbians want to see hot chicks too, you dumbass. What are
Oh
you
my god.
thinking?
yeah, well also, I mean, isn't the sort of the narrative that women we're not trying to look good for you, I'm trying to look good for me. My just baiting on Instagram is it's for me, it's not for you. Oh man, that looks like a giant dildo though, by the way. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Everything does. Oh my god.
Bring
The,
the full
the
dragon.
penis envy.
Oh my god, here comes my boy Logan. Okay.
Are we convinced?
Hey.
I think the one on the left might be a dude in a dress.
He identifies as a woman. That's all that's important. He can
There's
go on the
s-
white channel.
no, no,
he can
no.
say that, but there's an Adam's apple. He can
Lady
identify however he
Balefire.
wants.
Here's a quick question. All right, if you were Logain, and yes, even though you're chained at your neck and you got manacles in your hands, you
Like-
saying you couldn't beat the shit out of these fucking four chicks?
was a girl, I'd beat the shit out of these chicks.
Dan, I think that's unfair. I think that it is correct to the lore that a gentleman like Logain would have no desire to do anything. He would
Wait,
basically just
just
we'll
say,
see.
wait.
But
Logain
that
is the
same
guy that
nature-
makes women breakfast, okay? Like, he would not beat them up. Like, he, for all of the shit that, like, the women do to Logain, he is just such a nice, he's still nice after everything.
Also,
This is a
and-
very good point. It's like name another character in the Wheel of Time that makes a woman breakfast.
Yeah. Hey, also, this is the shot I was waiting for from last episode. So we are looking through this door, and what do we
Mhm.
see beyond it?
Statues of warders.
Oh god!
Guard-
Oh god!
standing
the
guard
hallway
outside the
again. We
hall.
started on this stupid hallway. Oh my god!
So the hallway double doors that ended into the balcony that Steppen should have fucking jumped off of also opens into the hall of the tower. It's like the
Where
fucking
did we
wardrobe in
even-
Narnia, guys. It's just sometimes it just opens to different places. It's just a thing. Don't worry about it.
God, just take the statues out, and it's a different hallway. Oh
There
my
they
God.
are. Oh, yeah. Like in case you didn't see them, they
Yep.
zoomed up really quick on them.
Orders.
Also, for reference, Dane, those are robes. They're wearing robes. Logain's wearing a robe.
No. Okay, but what about Elon Omar Sedai in the back right
Oh
there?
my god! The squad is here, you guys. So
I
we
still
have,
think
like,
that was
Jedi.
potentially my best joke ever.
It's up
Are we
there.
going to get? Wait. I'm gonna call it. Is AOC Sedai going to come out and be like, Logain, why are you trying to date me? Ah!
Season 2, for sure.
Did too? Oh my god.
All right, we're about
or
to see
maybe
Logain.
she's already a sitter.
Why is this man chained?
Poses no threat.
Because he tried to kill him. You fucking
You think a
bastard.
man couldn't beat you up? Oh my god.
This scene right here almost made you think this episode wasn't going to be complete shit.
Right?
No, I think like
For,
Logain
like,
is probably the
3
only character they didn't
seconds?
completely
Yep.
screw over.
The next like 15 20 seconds you were like, "Damn, what is this the same show?"
My brother.
Stand
saw
up,
it.
you fucking bitch. Stand up, you fucking cuck.
He is
Stand up, spit in her face, dude. Oh my god.
gosh, he is the only good actor in this show.
Yes, he is.
But
he is
he's
good.
not, but his direction fucking sucks. Stand up.
Than you have ever been.
Be imperious, you dipshit.
Stood up and said he was going to the White Tower to throw the Amerlin seed.
See, a few dresses.
Hmm.
No one would follow
Oh my-
to kill me for even suggesting it.
No, they wouldn't.
But when I said I was coming for you, I had an army at my back within the year.
Did you though?
Why
Did
are
you,
you
though?
on your knees? Why are you still on
Okay,
your
oh my
knees
God.
like a fucking cuck?
Logain is not a cuck, if anything. Oh my god, I hate this so much.
If he had delivered this standing up with
Yeah.
4 warders holding him, like, chained or
That would've been
something,
cool.
this would have been a shockingly competently conducted scene.
The problem, though, if you think about
Not
it,
only
is that we
that-
haven't been shown to have warders look intimidating or dangerous.
No,
the like deadly grace of warders
Side point.
is not there at
Wait,
all.
let's
So
not
like,
talk about the like big show of warders was Step and Fetch It. That's the warder. Step and
But-
Fetch It.
But it's a side point. Is Alex? You're right. Is if they had Logain standing up, restrained by warders, what would that have done for the Aes Sedai staring him down? Would it have diminished them, or would
Yes.
it have raised them up?
It would have raised them.
Yeah.
And people will say it would diminish them because on the surface it looks like he's on their level, whereas now they're standing over him. That's nonsense. This is broken ass critical theory, not critical thinking. Like, guys, a hero is only as powerful and as notable as the villain they defeat. By making Logain powerful and intimidating, you make the Aes Sedai who defeated him look all the more impressive. Having him down on his knees like this just makes them look like bullies.
Except that only works if you've actually shown him to be powerful and impressive and have things, right? They introduced him and defeated him within the same episode, right? Like within an episode's worth of time for sure, if it was split across two. So, like, there's no way they're going to convince you that he's actually a huge, potent threat. They keep on talking about it, but, like, no, it hasn't really
But you
shown to
know
be the
what, like,
case. It's
happened
not going
with
to be a
this
sell.
too? And like again, we're coming this, but like we know who Logain is and what he does. But like
Yeah.
when my brother watched this, he was like assumed that he's like Logain is the hero, Logain is the dragon. He's the only person that's fighting against being like wrongly imprisoned. And he never initiated any violence towards anyone that didn't initiate it towards him. So he only kills people when they try to gentle him. And then he comes here and gives this great speech. It's like they have made this guy the hero.
Well,
And that
he
is
started
not
out.
how it should be.
It started out with a good speech. Let's see how it ends.
Oh god.
And even your little parade showing off your prize. You know what people will remember? They will remember that one man fought against 9 women, 9 mighty
Oh
warriors.
my god.
This is like such a ripoff of like Braveheart, like Gladiator and stuff.
To the wall.
You stake the green bitch into the wall and we're all clapping.
Aes Sedai serenity, guys. Aes Sedai composure. No one can read their emotions.
Give me a crazy laugh, have her and all the other Aes Sedai mad, have the warders drag him away as he laughs maniacally at them.
What is clanging your
Oh.
dildo on the floor supposed to emote? Is she horny?
Well,
She turned on?
Clearly, Logain was.
Honestly, Alex, she's not that good looking in this fucking shot.
Yeah, go look at her Instagram.
Nah.
Yeah, 5'10" stacked trim Asian chicks. Yeah, that works.
I still can't get over the Muslims in this. It's like that doesn't exist in this world.
I mean, no one with that clothing. Yeah, sure. Whatever. If they wanted to have different hats on people, I don't give a shit. But here we go, guys. This is where
That's not what they did. That's not what they like. The whole Elon Omar Sedai thing. Like that's.
They have
It's
them all.
not
They have
why it's
Elon
in
Omar,
there.
like they have Rashida Tlaib. We just need AOC.
AOC is on the Amerlin
I
seat.
was gonna say, I'm looking at AOC
Yeah.
right now.
This is where
Good
the
point.
speech. This is where the speech really turns. I'm trying to see though.
Outside this hall.
I've never thought of this before. Does she not have a stone in her ring?
Maybe
It
they
should-
took it out because she's
should
not
be-
of.
Yeah, it should be a blue ring pop.
No, it shouldn't. It should just be the fucking normal Aes
Well, I'm
Sedai
just
ring.
saying
Because
within the stupidity of this show. But yeah,
good point. She's also wearing it on her index finger, not her middle finger.
they can wear it on whichever finger they
That's a
want.
middle finger.
In the books, not in the show.
I'm putting it on my middle finger and like flipping all these birds off.
No matter what foulness you spill,
Foulness you spill.
you'll serve as an example.
You know what's
What
hilarious?
The
In
fuck?
the actual book, she actually treats him with compassion because the Aes Sedai are good and caring and like,
All Aes
hey,
Sedai do.
you're sick and you needed to be treated, but you didn't do anything wrong, right? It's the madness, it's the taint. And yet they turn her here into just an evil bitch.
Like look at the story. What they did to Logain. Okay, it's like they. You know the book, I'm sure you've heard the Brandon Sanderson lectures where he talks about a screenwriting book called Save the Cat. Okay, Save the Cat refers to like when they have, in the beginning of a script, they'll have somebody do something like saving a cat that makes you like the person, okay? They did that with Logain. It's like they show him fighting in Gleeden and he confronts the king of Gleeden. Now, you're seeing that this guy, like, I don't think they do a very good job of establishing that he's having like madness or whatever. But he clearly has a point where he decides he could kill the king if he wanted to. But instead, he takes the
Yeah,
guy's
he has the
knife,
guy's
heals
dagger like
him,
written,
and gives
like
it back
wrapped
to
up in the
him. I mean,
weaves.
you're making him the freaking hero. That's not how you set him up as a bad guy. That's like when I saw this, it's like I know the real story,
So
but I'm kind of
they set
liking
him up
Logain as
as the good
describing it.
guy.
I hate this. I mean,
But
I
it's
like Logain.
especially irritating because it's a great point in the books. That is, Swan treated Logain with compassion when it came to his sentence, and then
No,
uh, well,
that
let me
no,
finish.
Alex, that was never in the books. That's all I got to say is you don't see Logain's trial
It doesn't happen on screen. It doesn't
and
happen in the
gentling in the books.
pages, but it's
Yeah.
it. We understand the significance of who he was, and we also understand the outcome of what happened. So we
I
can
think it's kind
infer
of
based on
It's
that,
implied.
treats him mercifully.
I mean,
And
she
then,
gave him parole essentially around the towers with nothing more than like kind of a guard to follow him around. But he could go wherever he wanted. He could do whatever he wanted. He was fed. He was essentially protected, and his minders were to make sure that he didn't commit suicide, not to actually prevent him from doing anything. And
no,
so
that's yeah, that's
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
compare that to this, again, I said that they turned her into an evil bitch, which is a weird thing to do to your like representation queen that you're trying to set up here.
yeah, and it's especially galling because it comes back to help her out because Logain helps her significantly in Fires of Heaven. Logain is the one that springs her from the wagon, taking her to the
Yeah.
Brinnis. So,
Mhm.
he helps them out so much. That man has such like patience. I don't know if I could do it.
Well,
oh
that's
yeah,
going to be
yeah,
solved by the fact that no woman needs help from any man in the entire series run as conceived by Rafe Judkins. So they're going to rescue themselves if that even ever happens. It probably won't because
Hey,
that would, yeah,
wait. Where's Gareth Bryn in this fucking series?
probably dead in a fucking gutter somewhere.
Yeah.
They don't
Okay.
need him.
So
She's obviously a military genius.
run that implication through for this whole Swan plot. But yeah, point
man,
taken.
I think we knew as soon as Moraine and Zawan started going at it hot and heavy that Gareth Bryn ain't a thing here.
Yeah, he needs.
Lord Bryn, aka Sir, not appearing in this film.
They don't need a man. They have the oath rod, guys.
Yeah. All right, let's finish this
All
trash.
adults
Fucking hell.
and men
And who dare to channel? Oh my god.
You make it filthy.
Like
Watch.
they have any control over.
And studied and studied. She's doing fucking
And
experiments on the
never-
guy now. I just tell
She's
me that
fucking
she's
Dr.
not thinking.
Mengele.
Tell me that she's not thinking
She's
about just
fucking-
anal probing him every night.
No, she's fucking Nazi Dr. Mengele, right?
Never
Oh,
free.
you did.
Yes.
until
Your
you
channel?
give yourself entirely to the madness.
What the fuck is this?
Yes.
Hey, I have a question for you, Dan. Like this
You
is
don't
going back
get more.
Okay. You know what's
Go ahead.
interesting about like why would they even gentle Logain? Was he even crazy? Because I don't remember him having any signs of madness like in the books. You?
Logain was by far one of the more sane Ashaman. He's not nuts, and this especially this here, like this is implying he's going to continue to go insane, even though he's gentled.
I know.
This offends me on a lot of levels.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think how you would have done this scene had you if you didn't hate this source material. Swan comes in, she gives him the merciful sentence. Logain basically tells her to shove it, and then gives the, your tower is weak and worthless speech
Right.
as he's dragged away laughing.
Is that up her front hole or her back hole?
Both.
And I'm canceled.
It's
Lady Balefire's laughter notwithstanding, I'm canceled.
Can I cancel you though?
All right.
just drives me insane. Like they can't pick up money off the
This is my
ground.
judgment. Remove him.
They had he
Yeah.
I agree. He should have been standing. He should have stood up during his speech, right? But fuck, like there is no reason to do him like this, you know?
No. Like, and this is how we all feel about this fucking show. Please kill me.
Thumbnail,
And he
right?
gets
That's fucking
and he
stole the show.
and he gets hauled away by two fucking chicks.
Oh my god.
Could you be any more of a cuck? Maybe
Like
if you were Perrin and you were a vegan, you could be more of a cuck than Logain, but it's fucking hard.
Oh god. The jawline. Oh my goodness.
All right. So for our live chat audience, which I think is non-existent, I think we should call our mid-episode break right here. This is where I had plotted out when you haul Logain away and he's sad and crying and the bitch
I'm
that we all
crying.
know
Oh
the
my
show
God.
on is. But for our YouTube audience, so which we'll get to in a couple of days. Yeah, this section sucked. Like kind of the last 18 weeks of this fucking shit. It sucked. It's like AIDS with cancer. So any final thoughts on this nonsense? We're gonna give it to Pips. We're gonna give it to Al. Actually, fuck it. You know what, Pips? Alex gets to say it first. You get to go second. And last word, like always, to our guest, Miss Balefire. This section of the shitty fucking cold open, and then Logain getting hauled away on his ass. Alex, you're first.
Do you guys remember when there were characters in this book? Like, I know we don't deal with them a lot, but
Who?
there's these three guys.
What are
Matt-
what are their what are their names? I'm drawing a blank.
and what is it? Randop? Like the
Randall. Randall is one of them.
Randall.
yeah,
Randall Simp.
Randall Tarley.
Randall Simp, yeah. I wonder what they're doing right now.
Who?
Yeah, right. That's kind of my exact reaction to watching this.
The three main characters?
Where's Unbreakable Logain?
Yeah, no, not even that. It's like they had their favorite character, like Lady Balefire saying, and she's not in this fucking either. So Pips.
Logain and Nynaeve aren't sitting next to someone on the big chair.
That is true. You would expect them to at least be standing around in the background between some of the columns or something like that. They got to get their airtime. All I'm going to say is that, man, I forgot how shitty this was. I feel like we've watched we've watched a good chunk of this. I don't know, 5-10 minutes this episode, and like fucking nothing of any substance or value to the actual plot of season 1 has happened. Like nothing.
Again, this is like the 8th fucking time we noted that.
It's just so so much wasted space. So
He's a disabled person.
Yeah, so I just want to say fuck this show, and then I want to say, just because it's convenient here with this stop here, I think I have a throw pillow made with the exact same fabric as Leandrin's dress. So over to you, Balefire.
Okay, I'm just gonna look at this dress. Okay, as somebody has done historical reenactment and cosplay for a very long time, this offends me. Her dress or whatever she's wearing, it ought to be closed, but the hook and eye closure, and when you it's first of all, it doesn't fit the actress. I can see the shoulder pads, like there's like some weird like gussets on the side, like it needs to be fitted better, and the hook and eye closure was really bad. And then there was Valdo and his zipper, like, oh my gosh, that was awful too. The costuming is awful. I mean, I kind of liked the direction they did at first, but I hated it more and more as it got going on. It looks like sale rack at like Urban Outfitter or something like that. But yeah, there's just so much bad stuff here.
Yeah, this fabric really looks like screen printed, right?
It does.
So we're actually going to rip on Leandrin's costume and not bring up the fact that, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, Leandrin has a weave, and I don't mean a
Yeah, white woman with braids. What the heck, guys? That's so anti-progressive. It's a cultural appropriation. Stop. You're canceled.
All I want to say is, hey, look to the right, and we've got Migan Mixidai.
Jerry Hogarth.
Yeah, we'll
Just
we'll
wait.
get to her.
Guys.
Yeah,
But
she
no,
looks
it's
like an
a-
extra from Star Wars with those boots and her like pseudo robe jacket. Megan
yeah,
Mixidai.
it's Mon Mothma, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
But
That's
but
a good one.
but seriously, Lady Balefire, like this is from the start to finish. Like it's not just Leandrin's costume on this final shot. What did you think of everything so far, from Girl Swan exhibiting powers 7 years before she was able to exhibit it, Tyr being a in the middle of China rather than a flatland delta,
Here being the
to
mountain home.
Aes Sedai politics being kind of upmanship of retardation amongst all the Ajas, and being depicted quite wonderfully by a CGI shot that didn't look out of place for a 1993 video game.
You know, it reminds me of that like meme when somebody's like trying to go to eat dinner and there's somebody like squatting over the plate and you're like, and it's like, hey, this adaptation is gonna be shit, and it's like, I don't know yet. It hasn't come out yet. I'll wait or something. You know what meme I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Rings of Power
Yeah,
one.
Rings of Power one. Except Lady Balefire, but at this point in time, half that shit is on the plate. We're on episode
know,
6.
it's so bad. I mean, it's so
It
offensive to
This
me on different
this is
levels.
too soupy. It's off the plate.
It is off the plate. We're in the dog food bowls now. This is weird. But like, okay, first I could see if they were like, okay, we're just gonna write our own story, but it's like they can't even coherently tell a story. They can't even like tell their own twisted version of what they think of this, which is just so awful. I mean, I find it so insulting as somebody that labored. I mean, I worked on a really like low budget movie that actually got nominated for an Oscar, and we worked on the Oscar campaign, and it was just so much work, and there were so many people that put like so much time and effort into this movie, and it was like, it's so insulting to see them have like an 80 million budget and this is what they put out. It's like I knew so many like struggling people, very very talented people. Like in my film school at UCLA, it was the extension, so we had people from India, we had people from Russia, we had people from China and Brazil, and we were all like really low budget. We're like, they consider us low and micro budget, so we're working on like a big budget movie, and our like range would be like $1 million, but usually more than like 500,000. So it's like, if we had this kind of budget, we would have like the most amazing movies. And still, like, I knew people like from these different countries that put out beautiful work. It's like so much better than this. It's just sad.
Yep.
It makes me think it's like a freaking like money laundering scheme for Amazon or something.
So that actually leads perfectly into the question that I was going to ask you. So we've been going on for a while. So like just a quick answer from you here. If you were to just look at this show and without any outside knowledge and just look at the show that we've seen so far, what budget does it look like it has?
I would say like maybe like 10 to 20 million. I mean, just
For the
because they're
show?
The
doing,
whole season? Whole season.
yeah, or less, or I mean, the
All right.
thing is, like, I can see the where they wasted money. There's a
No,
lot
I
of
think
waste.
that's good enough. I think that Lady Balefire is saying that they laundered $100 million of their budget.
At least.
Well, I mean, yeah, and it goes back to Judkins. You know, he's the one that's making a lot of these calls, and you know, this is what happens when you give somebody who is too inexperienced to be doing this, you know, that kind of power. You know, you gave a
I mean,
monkey a firearm, you can't be surprised if you get shot in the kneecap.
Yeah. All right. I think it's probably time for us to call it. Yeah. What do you think, Dane?
thank you guys.
All I think is thanks for coming out. everybody. Hope you like us. Hope you subscribe if you're not already. Hope you share this this video with your friends if you like this kind of long form Wheel of Time show content. Even though you hate the show, well, we do too. But we go through it and we try and make fun of it as much as we possibly can, which is why it takes so fucking long. And please comment. So yeah, I guess with that, we'll take a quick pause. We'll refill our drinks, and we'll see you on the next one.
Walk in the light.